In this video, we're talking about the sales funnel or sales pipeline. It doesn't matter what you call it. Some call it a funnel, some call it a pipeline. So first of all, what is a sales funnel? Well, the basic principle is a funnel or a pipeline has two ends to it, right? So if you imagine a funnel in your kitchen at home, you put liquid in the top, and then out of the bottom, out of the spout, you get you get liquid coming out of the bottom. Now, why is it called a sales funnel? It is because you'll notice the shape of the funnel. It gets narrower and narrower from the top to the bottom until at the bottom it's much smaller than the entry at the top. And what this represents for your business is the process that potential customers go through when they come to your business to try and buy something. So at the very top of the funnel, these are generally just anyone and everyone. If you take the phone book, you could well just put everyone's name into that top end of the funnel. As you move down the funnel, this is then divided up into various stages as it moves through the sales process until you finally get a paying customer. Now you can have as many or as many of these stages as you want, or as few, but in general, most companies have between 3 and 5. So as you move down the funnel, the next stage would be to take that random person off the street and identify if they have an interest in your product. So this is a bit like if you place an advert on Facebook that says something like, learn how to buy and sell houses with no money. So this would obviously be some kind of training course thing. Now, if someone clicks the advert and they go through to your website, well, this shows that they are interested in what you're offering. Now, this isn't just training courses or books or anything like that. This is for anything that you're selling. Now, at each stage in this funnel, it is designed to massively reduce the number of people at each stage. So if you imagine you're trying to sell a course, like the one in the example a few minutes ago, you send that advert out to everyone on the planet, then not everyone is going to be interested in it. You might get 10% of people click on it and show an interest. There's no hard rule that says how many people or what percentage of people will move through each stage, but over time, this will become a lot more predictable based on past results. So you'll know, for example, if you place an advert in a newspaper on a Thursday evening, you'll most likely receive 24 inquiries from it. So after the interested stage, the next stage is you need to qualify them. Now, what this means is, are they the right type of customer for you? For example, if you provide cleaning services to schools, but one of those people with an interest wants you to clean their house every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, well, they aren't your type of customer, so they wouldn't qualify to go through to the next stage. They might want cleaning services, but they aren't a school. Likewise, this is also the part where you can check if they can actually afford what you're offering, and to see if they have the money to pay for it. You might target certain sizes or types of potential customer as well. Now, you can do all of this with different methods. You can do some kind of interview type process over the phone, though at this stage in the process, that might be quite time consuming and expensive. So other ways is you might have some kind of survey form on your website. Other ways you might use, and one we use for our own business offerings, is to go on the size of the customer. For example, in a business to business relationship, you might know that a business with less than 3 staff is most likely to not have enough free cash flow to afford your offering. So you'd qualify them by asking how many staff they employed. You might miss a few potential customers this way, but this will be based on what your existing customers look like and how many people you've dealt with in the past that end up not converting to customers for whatever reason. That's for business to business type customers, but you could do something similar for business to consumer customers as well. So let's imagine you sell a particular type of clothing or a fashion accessory like a watch or a handbag. So based on your past customers, you'll probably identify that there are a certain demographic of people. Where did they live? Do they own their own house? What kind of car do they drive? Do they have a family? Are they married or are they single? These are all things that will help you pinpoint ways that you can help you to qualify them. And this will all be based on past experience of dealing with people, your existing customers. Now, after you've qualified them, the next stage in the process is to find out if they're motivated to buy your product. You identified they were interested in the product, but that doesn't mean that they're motivated to buy right now. A few ways I've seen other firms do this, for example, is on their website. As you complete an inquiry form, it might say, how soon do you intend to buy this product? And then they'll give you a range of options, such as in the next 7 days, in the next month, in the next 3 months, or more than 3 months. So when someone completes that inquiry form, the business can see how motivated they are to make that purchase. If it's within the next 7 days, then that customer obviously needs to get something done right away. If it's in the next month, they might be shortlisting suppliers at this stage. So again, at this stage, you can do various options based on however you decide to test which inquiries are motivated. You can take them through to the next stage, but those that you don't take through, perhaps you want to keep in touch with them or send them brochures or something like that. The idea is to do whatever you can to get them motivated to buy now, to build their desire. So it can be a good idea to brainstorm what you might do to try and build that desire to buy and increase that motivation. It can be a good idea to do whatever you choose to do at this stage for those inquiries that are motivated to buy as well, because then it reinforces their desire to make the purchase as well. In the real world, probably the best way to identify them as being a motivated buyer, especially in a business-to-business environment, would be when they send you their invitation to tender or request the proposal. That generally means that they've got a budget set and they're just looking for a supplier. The idea is to take the path of least resistance, and in this case, it's to identify those customers who are actively looking for what you provide. If you provide cleaning services and your target customers are schools, well, you might go and knock on their door to offer you cleaning services, but there's a very strong chance they already have someone that provides that service, and it's already under contract. On the other hand, if that contract is about to expire in the next few months, they'll most likely be looking for a new provider, or at least looking for quotes. And it's at this stage when they'll provide, or when they'll probably advertise that they are looking for a quote. This is a difference between going in cold and actually making a sale. I'd say there's probably 1,000% more chance that you'll win the contract when they're at the tender stage and motivated to buy from you than if you go in cold. In other words, you might have to approach 1,000 cold leads to make that one sale if they aren't motivated when you go in. And I can say this based on my own experience of doing it myself. I've wasted so much time trying to convince people, especially on things like ideas that I had that could help them, and it was mostly just a waste of time. It was like talking to a brick wall because they just weren't motivated. So after you've tested that they're motivated to buy, the final point is just to close the sale. What can you do to help them make that purchase? This stage in the real world, it would be like when you submit your tender and you're up against other companies who have also submitted their tender. A couple of ideas you might try to increase the chance of them buying from you. Perhaps you might visit their office to present that quote rather than just emailing it to them. If the normal method of quoting process is that you have to do a presentation or pitch to the customer, then perhaps you might get some formal training to help you present better. Another way might be how you package the quote up for them. Does it look professional when they open it, for example? What could you do to improve that packaging and first impression? Now, sometimes some firms will have an additional stage in the funnel, which is for buyers that are already in your ecosystem, customers that have already bought from you, or you're currently servicing them at the moment. And this stage of the funnel is about how you can sell more to them, because it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier, cheaper, and faster to sell to an existing customer than to sell to someone you've never dealt with before. Normally, this is a stage when you might have someone dedicated to managing the relationship with particular clients, so that you have that close connection with them and identifying opportunities where they might need to buy something extra. So a few ways you might do this. Perhaps you might sell them an add-on type service to help them do whatever they're trying to do. Or you could sell them a new or different product offering. An example of this in a B2B environment, if you're an architect and you design someone's house for them, an additional service that they might buy could be an interior designer, for example. Or in, say, a supermarket, you buy your normal groceries and things, but then just as you're leaving the supermarket, you walk past a cafe, a dry cleaners, sometimes even a hair salon. And these are all ways that are designed to take money out of your pocket and put it into theirs. And you can do the same. You probably didn't go into the supermarket for the purpose of eating your breakfast in the cafe. So the offering isn't taking anything away from their original groceries offering. It's just adding to your experience. And that's what this stage is about. How do you add to the buying experience and get paid more in the process? So the exercise, take a few minutes to plan out your own sales funnel. What are each of the stages that your inquiries come through? And then think about how you might improve the conversion rates on those last few stages in the funnel.